Well, just a little shout out to my bestest buddy, Jana. I thought, well, I'll do a live from the microwave clip too, but I don't know. Something tells me this isn't working very well. Well, hello kids. It's Monday morning. What the hell's the date? It's August 28th. Yeah, it's been a bit. So I took a little hiatus, just a brief one. Did not do any recording last week, and just needed to take a little break from video and YouTube and all of that good stuff. No big deal, no drama, no worries. Just didn't want to have an entire weekend of editing ahead of me. So I wanted to be lazy this last weekend, and boy did I ever do that. So I'm a happy camper now. You need to do that every now and then, just unplug from everything. So we are back in the saddle. We are leaving very late on a Monday morning, and that is because the trailer I have attached to me was the trailer I brought from a small town in Ohio back to the yard on Friday to go home, and left myself attached to said trailer, and we are going to deliver it now in Shanahan, which is very close by, and it was planned for a Monday late morning delivery, which meant there's no sense in me getting to the terminal at the crack of dawn and getting running early, because I can't deliver this thing before 11 a.m. anyway. So here we are. It's almost 11 and we are on our way. We should be there in about 20 minutes, and from there I don't know yet. So I know I talked to my dispatcher this morning, and he is hard at work. He already says he has a full plan for me. He's going to send that along momentarily. So until I see that, I have no idea where I'm going, and that's okay, because I trust him. I trust him in his infinite powers of dispatching and planning magnificence, that he is going to get me on the road making money and having very few obstacles in my way, and everything is going to be a bed of roses for this whole week. So, a little inside joke with myself. Yes, a little dual personality action going. Yeah, last week, oh my goodness, last week. Yeah, so started off last week on Monday morning, bright and early. I'm, just slogging my way down to Plainfield from where I live up north. And it's still dark, it's super early, and I'm just, trying to stay awake, wake up, and get my week started. And I get down close to the terminal, and I get a call from my dispatch, and they're like, hey, when you come in, they need to see you in the office. I'm like, oh, okay, that's unusual. That's never good, right? Any truck driver knows when you're coming into work and they need to see you in the office, that's never good, ever. So of course I'm going, well, what the hell now? I didn't kill anybody. I didn't wreck anything. I didn't just refuse any loads. I'm going through my mind going, why? What grounds do they have to fire me? So I'm like, okay, relax, Dirk. Take a pill. Step back a little bit. It's don't let your brain go to all of that. That makes absolutely no sense. So there must be something else going on. And sure enough, it turns out that my med card that I thought was valid for almost a year to the date of last Monday, I thought it was going to be good for another year, because that's what's in my pocket, right? It's good for another year. Well, without getting too long-winded into the whole saga, somehow or another, the state of Illinois got it all screwed up, and they had the wrong expiration date in their system. They were a year off. Yeah, so I'm faced now with this decision early on Monday morning. Well, okay, according to the DOT, my med card is going to expire on Wednesday, and it's Monday. So it would make absolutely no sense to get in this truck and leave this terminal and start running regional Because once you leave the terminal, you're gone, right? So then I'll be in Wisconsin, and Ohio, and Indiana, God only knows where, Michigan, and I can't leave with a med card that's about to expire. And they were like, well, you got to go get that straightened out with the DMV, and that's all well and good, but the DMV is closed on Monday in Illinois, so that means Monday is wasted. I can't do a damn thing. So they're like, well, why don't you could, if you wanted to, just grab a load. We'll just run you, we'll run you up to Eau Claire and back, and, and everything. At least that'll be something. And, okay, well, that's one idea. But in the meantime, then who's going to the DOT to get this shit straightened out if I'm driving a truck running a load? And even more importantly, what happens if I get, let's say, to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and I have a mechanical breakdown that leaves me stranded until Thursday? These things happen in trucking. It's not all perfection and smoothly going as planned. So I'm like, I'm not going to go somewhere and be sitting like in northwest Wisconsin and have my med card run out. Then what? Now me and the truck are stranded and I can't drive it. So, that makes absolutely no sense. So I just went home, and there was nothing I could do. I wasn't going to leave, that's for damn sure. And I'm not going to drive illegal, that's for damn sure. So Tuesday comes around, and to spare you all the gory details, I literally spent the entire day Tuesday going to the DOT, DMV, the Motor Vehicle Department, standing in an endless line for hours on end just to get to the counter for them to tell me what I already knew they were going to tell me. And that, well, the system is what we have to go by. And, I see that your piece of paper says something different, but there's nothing we can do, blah, blah, blah. So, long story short, I just ran over and got a new physical, got a new med card, and then had to go back to the DMV and stand in an eternal line. And by the time it was all said and done, I started at 7:30 in the morning, my first visit to the DOT. I was there at 7:30 in the morning. I finally got out of the last purgatory at the DMV with my new med card finally uploaded into their system at about 4:30 in the afternoon. So the entire day messing around with that bullshit. And then finally got to step into the truck and leave on Wednesday. So I only worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But I ran my ass off during those 3 days, but still, it's only 3 days. And then, of course, the med card fiasco wasn't enough. There had to be something else, right? So I pick up a trailer in Sullivan, Missouri, a loaded trailer going to Menards store, and the right side taillights are out. Great. So I had to go to a shop at a Speedco, love Speedco place, and was trapped there for 5+ hours, which threw my entire dispatch plan off, which made my rock star of a dispatcher have to scramble and take a load off of me and do all this crazy shit to get me a load that would get me back by Friday, because I didn't want to be coming back on a Saturday again, because that's happened a couple too many times for my taste, and my home time is my priority. It really is. I mean, everybody's got their priorities in life. Some people run to make as much money as they can. Others have this, others have that. For me, I want consistency, and I want my home time. That's it. If I make a little bit less money because of that, I'm fine with that. I really don't care. I want my home time. So, to his credit, he busted his butt and he found me a load at the very last minute that would get me home from Ohio on time. And so I did that, and I got home on time, and everything's fine. So, here we are now that you're all caught up with the saga that is Dirk's Trucking Adventure, and we are now about to enter 55 North to go up to Weber Road to go to a warehouse in Shanahan and get these grass seeds off of our trailer. And from there, who knows? But I will keep you posted. Alright, so we are at our first delivery. It looks like a brand spanking new facility in Shanahan. It is a DHL facility and also Scott's lawn products. So Scott's, we have a trailer full of lawn seed, and so that makes sense. So we just visited the friendly neighborhood gate guard, and he told us to head down this way. He popped my seal already, and we're gonna go find out where they want us. Let's see, how will I do this? Well, I could always back in because nobody else does, so why don't I do that? I'm gonna back in just because I'm that considerate. Or stupid. Take your pick. Yep, that works. Try not to knock over their cones, even though I could just go and put them right back up if I wanted to. I'd just rather not hit stuff, even if it's a cone. Oh, look at this, blindsiding fool. Emphasis on the fool. All right, we're getting there. It's a punchy Monday. There we go, I knew I could do it. Will wonders ever cease? Dirk figured out how to back up a truck. All right, let's go in and visit the friendly folks at Scott's Lawn Care. Okay. Some friendly folks at this place. Oh my goodness. Oh. Anyway. 122. Let's find door 122, shall we? Well, we're in the 200s, so it's going to be a while. Let's see where it is. And they can get all this grass seed off my truck. Alright, well, we are now clear on the other side of the building. Still looking for door 122. And see how fast they can get us offloaded here. So kind of weird because this seems to be like what's supposed to be the outbound side of the building, but hey, who am I to say? Man wanted me on 122, I'm gonna back up on 122, darn it. And here we come. Why this door, I have no clue, but maybe it's because they want to load it right away on one of these outbound trailers. That's my guess. That's my guess, and I'm sticking with it. 122. Okay, backing up into a wide open space. That's always entertaining. I'm going to try and use the lines on the cement to help me line up. That's my little cheat. And I am way off. And that's okay. We can fix it. Oh, forgot my hazards. And my window. There we go. Let's get over there. More. We need to get way over. And we need to open our doors. Still more. We'll get there. Don't panic. Let's kick the trailer over to the driver's side. That's a little better. how about we open the doors so they can get this shit out, huh? Oh man, my truck is absolutely filthy. It needs a bath. Let's see if we can get that done today, hopefully. Still need to kick it over to the driver's side a bit. That looks about right. The lines on the concrete are not straight with the dock. I'm sitting there like, wait, I'm following the line. Why does it look like my trailer's crooked? Because it is. The lines are deceiving. Oh, it's alright. We're getting there. Slow and steady wins the race, kids. Slow and steady. Oh, there we go. And kaboom! We are on. Yeehaw! All right, we are at our next shipper in Glendale Heights, Illinois. Excuse me. And we have to get our butts onto door 18, so let's go do that. With a big old U-turn. Find ourselves door 18.
After 1,000 feet, turn right onto North Avenue and then turn right.
No, I think you need to stop. Alright, where's 18? We're getting close. All the way on the end, maybe? All the way on the end. Almost. Oh. Well, that's going to be fun. Let's do a 90, shall we? Kind of a 90. That's a squeeze. That is a tight one. Steady. Oh, almost had it. But I'd rather be a little bit short on the driver's side than be too close on the curb side and nail that trailer. So I always err to overcompensating towards the driver's side, so I don't smack somebody else's trailer or truck, which is even worse. I can just keep gently nudging it over, as opposed to being a wild man and just going, oh, I got it, until you don't. Still want to get over. I'm on. They could load it, but by now you know me. Perfectionist. I do not like being crooked or off center on a dock. I just don't. It bothers me. There's leeway of several inches on either side. It really doesn't matter, but it matters to me. So there you go. I'd say, considering how tight and weird this one is, we made fairly quick work of this one. That's right, because I'm the superest super trucker alive. Oh, kaboom. That must be the building. All right. Well, we are now freshly full of fuel and DEF. And for those of you that don't know what DEF is, that's diesel exhaust fluid that all of these newer trucks that have systems in them to scrub and clean the exhaust so that you don't see all the black smoke and stuff coming out of trucks anymore. Like, well, I'm probably dating myself because when I was a kid, all the trucks poured black smoke. So it's diesel exhaust fluid that and the diesel particulate filters and that whole DEF system that's in the modern truck, which is both an infernal pain in the ass and a very expensive, complicated system that tends to need a lot of maintenance and breaks down frequently, although they are getting better. The first ones out were just absolute nightmare. Constantly breaking down, but they are getting better. But they do a good job. You got to give it that. I mean, they do help a lot with the emissions output from these big old trucks lumbering around everywhere. So we got ourselves all full up. We're heading to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, to the Menards DC again, which is just fine by me because I love driving in Wisconsin. It's a beautiful trip. So I am not complaining at all. It's a great way to stack up miles and enjoy the ride while you're doing it. So, well, one thing that jumped into my head though, just as I'm driving along, you'll notice that we are on a 3-laner, and there is a very big difference when you drive a truck and you've been doing it for a while. You start getting into this rhythm of understanding the flow of traffic a lot better than when you're brand new. And there's a very big difference in how you drive on a 3-lane road as opposed to a 2-lane highway or a 4 or more lane highway. And one of the things that I notice quite a bit when I'm driving is that whenever I'm on a 3-laner, there are a lot of trucks that park themselves in the center lane like I'm doing right now. I'm basically parked in the center lane and I'm cruising along at 70 miles per hour, cruise control set, and I'm just going to hold this lane for as long as I can, just because it's a nice place to be. You don't have to worry about all the right lane shenanigans, and left lane is for cars. It should be. There shouldn't ever be a reason why a truck is in the far left lane on a 3-lane highway, other than when truck drivers are messing up. And I will explain that. And sometimes cars are driving like idiots and they're like glued to each other's side. Okay, yeah, that does happen. But what happens more frequently, from what I've observed, is that you have truck drivers, and I'm going to assume a lot of them are newer and less experienced, and some of them, unfortunately, are experienced, and either they just don't give a damn, or just they haven't learned much in the time that they've been driving. So anyway, my point, based on all my observations, if you're driving a truck that has a governed speed that is less than 70 miles per hour, so if you're governed at 65 or you're governed at 67 or 68 or whatever, you may think you're fast enough to park yourself in the center lane. You aren't. All right? If you really look at how traffic flows, the only trucks that should be temporarily parking themselves in the center lane are trucks that are governed at 70 miles per hour or above, or are not governed at all. And the reason for that is that there are a lot more trucks than people realize, I think, sometimes, that can do 70 miles per hour or better. So if you're driving a company truck, like when I was with Schneider and I had my company truck was governed at 65. Now I would go and park myself in the center lane here and there every now and then if traffic allowed it, but I hawked the hell out of my mirrors. And if I saw a long-nosed Pete coming up behind me, as soon as I saw it, I knew this guy's not doing 65. There's not a long-nosed Pete or Kenny on the face of the earth that in wide open country on a 3-lane highway, if he's coming up that center lane, there's not a single long-nosed truck I've ever seen that's doing under 68 miles per hour. All of them are doing 68 plus. Most of them are doing over 70. So you get the hell out of the way, right? So you move right, and that's what I did. I would move right, let them pass, and as soon as I saw that the center lane was completely open and free behind me again, I moved over. Now I've got cars coming up behind me now. There's only 2 or 3 of them, but they're getting close to my back end. So why not? I move out of the way so that they can keep going and they can get around me. That's what I mean about flow of traffic, and that's what I mean about having more experience and being a little bit more aware of your surroundings and less oblivious, just, doing down the highway. You have a gigantic potential obstacle you're driving, and when you have an obstacle on a highway, people start getting mad. And when people start getting mad and impatient, they start doing really stupid things in order to get around you. And that's where the whole main point is. Again, with me, it always circles back to safety. It's not just inconveniencing people, it's a safety issue, okay? So if you're in a 65 mile per hour truck, if you're in a 67 mile per hour truck, a 68 mile per hour truck, and even like myself, a 70 mile per hour truck, you want to park yourself in that center lane. At that point, you have a responsibility. You've got a responsibility to be watching what is happening and unfolding behind you. And if you sit there and just stay parked in that center lane on a highway like this, we're not in a metro area, we're not in a high congestion city area, we're on a highway just to the northwest of Janesville, Wisconsin. We're on I-90, I-39 combined. There's no reason in the world that you should remain in that center lane when you see faster trucks coming up behind you. You need to move the hell over. If you've got trucks passing you on the right-hand side, trucks, mind you, not just cars, trucks, other trucks passing you on the right-hand side, that should be an immediate signal to your brain that you are one too far to the left as far as lanes are concerned. You need to move over. You need to get the hell out of the way. And that way the whole traffic pattern can flow. And again, if you're governed under 70, don't park and camp yourself in that center lane unless you're being super vigilant to your mirrors and watching what the hell is happening behind you. Other than that, you should be in the right lane, and that center lane should only be there if you need to pass somebody going slower than you. Other than that, you should be on the right all the time. So Just a little PSA from your Uncle Dirk.